Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Code Realize Future Blessings. And we're in Impey's route now, and this will be the first full part since we started halfway through the last one. So anyway, and I actually just trying to think. So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, well, wow. So I was trying to figure out how long the game would take to play, and before I had started, and it was like, oh, like maybe 20 hours, full completionist. I don't know how that's possible because it takes 2.5, 3 hours. It takes us 3 hours at least to play through each one of these routes. Because I know I talk through them and we stop and we extrapolate and we think our thoughts and like now. But even still, and Van Helsing's took 3.5. Even if it only took 2 hours to play each of the main guy's parts, that's 10 hours. So I don't know who estimated an hour and a half to read through each part. What were you doing? Like, the weather's beautiful, the sky's blue, blah, 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 like, I mean, I read through I don't read fucking slow, but like, Jesus. Even if you listen to the voice acting, you wouldn't be reading that fast. And it takes at least 2 hours for each path. I highly doubt that I talk for like an hour total. Well, maybe I do, but that's 10 hours. And then you have Finnis and Sholmes's parts that are longer than that because you actually have choices and routes to do. I suppose if you just do one quick playthrough, but I can't imagine those taking less than 3 hours each. So that's 16 or 17 hours just for that. And that's not counting the deli thing. I mean, I just think that that's really pushing it. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, we'll probably be through this through mid-August, I would say. We'll probably finish the 5 main routes by the end of the month. I would think if we're going at the pace that we'd go with them each being about 3 hours. We might run into the beginning of August, but yeah, so I don't know, I'm just thinking about that because like Hakuoki's next after this one. Because Silver Miracles or Wintertide Miracles, whatever they're going to call the third game, that one's not coming out till next year. So I highly doubt it'd be really great if it came out this year, guys. But I'm sure it's for next year. And I would highly doubt, since it's I would not be surprised if they didn't release it till the end of next year because it's more like a holiday kind of theme, you know? So it just seems silly to like release it unless they're planning on releasing it in like January or February, but like, let's release it in mid-June. Okay, weird, you know? So it'll either be the very beginning of next year or the very end of next year, which is fine. Hakuoki, we've got 12 guys to romance and there's 2 games. So I just can't fucking imagine how that's not gonna be goddamn motherfucking forever. Like, think about how long this game took. We have like 80 some odd parts of Guardian of Rebirth. Yeah. We're gonna be like, we're only in the 3rd guy right now, and we're at part 300. It's gonna be a lot of skipping on that one, but anyway. Oh, I can't wait for that, honestly. 12 beautiful men. I can't handle 5. Spacey can't handle these 5. Jesus. Okay. The weather is beautiful, the sky blue. A pleasant breeze wafts in and out of the open window. Today was a special day. All days are special with Impey, because he is fucking special. I like how the paintings in the corner of the room, I just noticed that. So look to the right, like above the doorway, like in that corner, you'll see there's like a painting on the side with the door frame that's like a purple tree. But the one right next to it looks like there's almost like a little arbor or something, and then there's a gate. But it's got the purple color, so it almost looks like it's a panoramic. Like, I framed it, picked like a corner of like a porch or something with that, and then if you pan around to the right, then you see the tree, and it just looks like it should be combined. Like, it's just 2 pictures from the same thing. And actually, the ones over to the left do the same thing. Like, the very top one on the far left is just white, you can't see it. But that other one is like a gazebo thing. And actually, that looks like Omnibus's fucking patio, doesn't it? That's what I was thinking about, the stuff on the right. I was like, it's kind of like Omnibus's, like, almost like her patio, like if you were looking out from her patio into the yard, as opposed to where normally looking at the house. But the one on the left here looks like her terrace thing. It just reminds me of that. But it almost looks like it continues to the painting that's kind of on the, like, to the right of it. Like, past the little, like, wood paneling portion underneath the lady and above the other lady. I wish I could point to them, but you know what I'm talking about. But it looks like it continues around. It's like, that's that, and that's a slightly lower picture, and then we position that, like... Man, Saint Germain, you make me think of a lot of things with your pictures. Lots of trees floating around. I'm sorry, I just get distracted by them because, like, and I never realized that. I mean, the mirror has an etching on it, but you really actually can see the reflection of the chandelier in the room in the mirror. That's never really. I noticed that the etching looks like a chandelier, but I never realized you could see the actual chandelier in the mirror. So weird. I'm sorry, I should read and not pay attention to the details, but I'm just saying the details are pretty goddamn good in the backgrounds of this game. Can I just tell you? Yeah. Impe and I were welcoming friends who had come to visit, compatriots who we hadn't seen in a long time. Too long, in fact. Saint Germain? Ah! Ah! Helsing, I miss you so much. We just started Impe's route, but it's not the same without you. I love you so much. Oh, and I know he was beaming and smiley at us in his path, but I really like the grumpy, pissed off look on Van Helsing's face, because it just makes me want to slap it right off of him. It's so sexy. Okay, no, I didn't skip anything by accident while I was ogling Van Helsing. Oh, it's been ages, you two. Spacey, it pleases me to see you hale and hearty as well. Good boy. Oh, calm down. Welcome back, Deli, Van Helsing. It must have been a long trip. Welcome back, Deli, and Van Helsing. I should read. I should learn how to read, but it must have been a long trip. You two would appear to be getting along well. Look at that smirk on his face. He's like, you know, you secretly fantasize about me. I do. When I lay in bed at night by myself, I fantasize about you. Exactly. I know I'm dating Impe, but leaving you alone with Impe caused me no little concern. I'm glad you're safe. That's the first thing you say. Well, I'm glad to see you haven't changed one iota. Meanwhile, Spacey must have been very happy to see Deli. He can't stop licking the little king's face. A year ago, Spacey was the only member of our gang Deli showed real affection to. I'm happy to see him opening up. So stop that, Spacey. I know you're happy to see me, but I order you to desist. Deli's fucking adorable. I love him so much. He's like the little brother we never knew we wanted. Van Helsing surveys the scene with a typical aloofness, but he too seems a bit softer around the edges. Aha! He loves us. Oh! Get that angry face. I think in the third one, can I just tell you, in the third one, there's like a little side thingy that you can like pick two guys to go on a date with. So that's all the pictures. So apparently, I found pictures on Google and I was looking and I posted them because one of them was like literally Spacey or Cardia, whatever. Her name is Spacey. Between basically Van Helsing and Lupin. And I was like, this is like my dream man sandwich right here. I'm not going to lie. You can do that in the third game. You can go like on a little date. I don't think it's like a date and I don't really know what happens. That could be totally fan servicey or it could just be like, hey, you just pick two guys to hang out with during the day and it could be totally innocuous. But we're going to fucking play the shit out of that. We are going to be like every fucking combination that we can do, we're doing. We'll be doing that forever because I just really hoping it's like, man, it's like fucking fan servicey. I really do. Really just. Oh, they're fighting over me. Oh! And I'm sorry, but Lupin and Van Helsing, we know that I have a bromance hard on for them, and I need to see it. I need it in my life. So, if we have to be the peanut butter in between that man sandwich, those lovely slices of bread, we'll do it. We will do it. I will gladly be the peanut butter in that sandwich because I love peanut butter anyway, so whatever. Anyway. I don't really know what just happened there. Oh god, this game. I play too many of these games and I've got a real fucking problem. I shouldn't play any of them. I really need to take a break and just not play any for a while, but no, that'll never happen. I hear the two of you have been in Scotland. Yeah, rumors speak of surviving vampires in the area. We'll be operating out of the north for the foreseeable future. The reason we're back in London is in accordance with Victoria. The Vampire Autonomous Zone, was it? Well, is it on the up and up? Verily, with the help we've received from friends, talks continue apace. After the Nautilus incident was resolved, Van Helsing was determined to atone for his past and joined Delhi to protect surviving vampires all across the United Kingdom. The task proved to be a difficult one. Following the near genocide of the Vampire War, Delhi's kin went into deep hiding. As painstaking an effort rooting out vampire survivors was, negotiating with them proved even more challenging. Even with Delhi to convince them, the hatred born from vampire kind's near extinction ran deep. It was now very clear the issue of vampire-human relations was not one that could be resolved overnight. Deli and Van Helsing found an ally in the Marquis Renfield, who lobbied for vampire freedom and promoted the autonomous zone. It would offer lands to vampires so they might finally live in peace, under the auspices of Queen Victoria. The Nautilus ensign convinced the Queen of the threats posed by terrorism, and she seems to favor minimizing unrest in the country any way she can. Instead of scattered bands of vampires bent on revenge, gather them in one place, they'll be that much easier to control. I suspect the Queen is thinking along those lines. Van Helsing gives a rueful snort. Impey furrows his brow and scratches his head confused. The way you put it, it sounds like Her Majesty is getting exactly what she wants. Deli, is that alright with you? It's fine. I'm not so foolish that I don't recognize a political maneuver when I see one. But the fact remains, my scattered kin will gain a peaceful place to live. That's why I plan on pushing talks forward. If given the chance to take advantage of something, I will do so. Deli says this without a shred of self-doubt. Now I see that he's completely different than before. He fought Van Helsing, who was responsible for massacring his kin, then accepted the former vampire hunter's decision to atone. The boy, driven purely by revenge, is no more. A proper king now stands before me, young though he may be. It's like you suddenly grew up, Deli. You seem like an adult now. What do you mean? I've been an adult for rather a long time now. Oh, I distinctly remember someone whining like a child about the bitter, undrinkable coffee on the trip north. Not to mention someone who got so excited during his first airship ride he nearly fell off. Airship, a type of aircraft that floats by filling the gas sack with gas. In this game, airships are common thanks to the development of aerocarbonium and the Neo-Steam engine. You speak above your station, Van Helsing. The bemused Van Helsing has a new calm about him as well, seemingly rid of his demons. Oh. We got rid of his demons in the last part. What? Nothing. And I look at each other in amazement. Neither of us had ever seen him smile like this before. Guess I didn't need to be concerned. Anyways, it's not my place. I may be a vampire, but I ran away from my hometown. Good luck, Deli. And Van Helsing's like, you're a what now? When did this come out? You weren't there. I mean, it obviously came out in Impey's Path. We know this, but I just don't know that Van Helsing knows that. He's like, well, oh, now I can't be as much of a dick to you. Nah, you know what? I'm still gonna be a dick. You're Impey. We're gonna be a dick. Huh. I hardly need luck. And when she throws you out of the house, you may come to me. Come on, Deli. Me getting thrown out? Just how do you imagine that would happen? Put into words when she finally gets tired of you. Whoa, I can't hear you. You're all so silly. We talk about old times for a while, since it had been forever and a day since we last met. No, Spacey, we're just like, oh, you're so silly. It's okay, I've got the gun, the escape hatch, the tranquilizers, and the hideout. We're good. What? I'm just saying. Keep your hands to yourself. No, we know we want his hands all over our body in this part. I really want Van Helsing's hands all over my body. I mean, what? No, right, we're in Impey's part. Right, yeah. No. Sure. Forever and a day since we last met. Okay, we've been chatting for some time when Impey shrugs and says, but man, who'd have thought old Van Helsing would get so soft? Your customary greeting used to be pointing a shotgun to people. What do you mean, people? You're the only person I felt an urge to murder. What? Why me? Oh, wait, why me? Did you just say murder? Is that the talk of a sane man? Anyway, enough about that. Your experiment last month was certainly a surprise. Van Helsing ignores Impey's reaction completely, not even bothering with a proper segue. Last month? You mean the cannon launch? It was almost exactly a month ago. All of us were to gather together that day. As the first concrete step to realizing Impey's dream, which had also become mine, we launched a capsule to the moon. From that day on, we wonder the same thing whenever we look up at the moon. Did the capsule land safely on the lunar surface? Probably not, but well, you know what? I mean, sure. Didn't they do that in the prior game? Was that really like a year later? I don't really remember the timeline. I mean, I know what happened in Impey's Path, but I don't remember when we do the after part, and it's like, sometimes it's like a month later, sometimes it happened like earlier, and then sometimes it happened like a year later. I think usually all the special part, well, the special end scenes sometimes happen, like with Victor, it was before we kind of were in a relationship with him, and Van Helsing's, it was like we were kind of after, you know what I mean? Like, so those fan servicey ones tend to happen at different times. Could have been like, oh, several months ago, or like a month after we started living together type of a thing. So it was always different. So I never remember, like I remember that, like Impey sent a capsule up, but I don't remember if that was, about a year later. You know what I mean? I don't remember. We were still on our way to the mansion when the actual launch happened. So yes, that was surprising. I thought the moon had split in two at first. Indeed. Not that I approve of your firing that cannon before I arrived. You were not to leave me out the next time, and you will allow me to press the switch. Clickety-click. Roger that. I'll save it just for you. Impey laughs good-spiritedly at Deli's enthusiasm. Well, it was praiseworthy, I'll admit, but it hasn't gone exactly as I had planned. Launching capsules from cannon, I've done more tests than I can count. But a manned launch, there's only been one time that happened. It's incredibly difficult. Have you ever experimented with one? Oh god, he's gonna die. And this path is gonna be like, and the path ends because Impey blows himself fucking up. Well, can't say I don't expect that to happen. I honestly don't know if a human body could withstand being hurtled into the sky with so much energy. I don't know, we hurtled Van Helsing at a fucking airship, but I mean, still, that was within the atmosphere. Had Impey or his old man been able to survive a test because they were vampires? Old man, an elderly vampire intrigued by science whom Impey met as a child. For Impey, he is a mentor and comrade who aimed for the moon. He's more like his dad, and baby Impey is fucking adorable. I'm thinking about that now. Oh boy, one time, I'm of course referring to the Van Helsing cannon. You might remember from the airship race. Oh, Impey, I was thinking the same thing. That launch gave me very important data. Really, I'm super thankful for that. Well, if it ended up being useful to you, we'll just leave it at that. So all this talk of going to the moon isn't just a fairy tale, I take it? Of course not. The preparations are going quite well. Isn't that right, Impey? He's like, sure. Impey? Oh, sure. 100%, yeah. Quite well. Try super well. Man, they're going so well I hardly know what to do with myself. Now this is suspicious. His manner and attitude were a dead giveaway, and he did just use the word well 3 times in one sentence. I exchanged glances with Van Helsing and Deli, then asked conspiratorially, did something happen? Come off it now. What's with that passionate fire in your eyes? Do you mean to set my poor heart ablaze? They're both like, ugh. They're gonna puke. Van Helsing is really trying to hold his lunch down. So I get the silent treatment. Impey is not a good liar. And with the 3 of us staring at him, he eventually heaves a deep sigh, looking resigned. The thing is, there was a little problem with my plans. A problem? With the engineering? Well, like you say, there are tons of areas I can prove engineering-wise. But this, you could say it's more fundamental, maybe. Impey's expression is so desperate and pained it makes me shiver. I just suck at math. I'm just kidding. You can't suck at math and be a great engineer. I mean, math. You just have to be good at math, I think. Oh no, could the problem be so fundamental he needs to completely rethink the plan? Don't just sit there. Show some spine and be out with it. We can't help if we don't know what the problem is. He is right, Impey. Indebted to you as I am, I would deign to offer assistance. Van Helsing, Deli. Wait, but both of you want to help? Although both of them are quick to tease and trade quips, Impey did help them escape unimaginable dangers. Deep down, I think they truly care for him. Yeah, but they like to insult him because that's what you do. They're friends. Van Helsing's like, you're just the lowest of my friends. Like, Lupin is like my best motherfucking friend. Like, it's a bromance. I would marry him if I were gay. Victor and Saint Germain are like my good friends. Like, I really love them. But they're like, And Impey, you're like that friend. You're a friend of me. You're like that friend that I love, but I also hate at the same time. Like, I can't live without you, because who would I insult? I'm just saying. Well, why wouldn't we? You know who we are. Although it pains me to admit, we are friends. It's clear from Van Helsing's stiff manner that he isn't used to admitting such things. Impey seems genuinely touched. I mean, I am too. We're friends. We're not bromance friends, though. Don't touch me. I only hug Lupin. Well, all right. I hoped I'd be able to solve this without dragging any of you into it, but if you insist, I'll take you up on that offer as friends. The three of us wait in suspense, wondering what the problem actually is. Impey slowly gets up from his chair and promptly falls to the ground, prostrating himself in front of us. What? Wait a minute. I know I've seen Impey pull this act somewhere before. The truth is, good sirs, the last month's launch resulted in the expenditures of all available funds. Van Helsing, Deli, lend me some money, please? I expected something dire after all that build-up, yet somehow this is so familiar. Tell me, self-described genius engineer, do you not know how to stick to a plan? There's nothing I could do about it. It's gonna cost money to go to the moon. Van Helsing and Deli roll their eyes at Impey, but I know where he's coming from. I helped Impey out with the planning, so I understand why his experiments burn through money so quick. Ship design blueprints, optical equipment, black powder, and shells for the launch. Constructing the devices needed to research the moon will inevitably consume vast sums. Since one tiny mistake would literally cause everything to go up in flames, every aspect of the plan demands perfection. It's true, there's no way to be frugal with this. If that is the case, I am willing to lend money, but I cannot say whether or not my allowance would cover it. I'm definitely not asking either of you to lend cash. I appreciate the offer, though. But there is one little thing you could lend a hand with. Finding a patron, right? Patron refers mainly to a financial assistant, typically a supporter or guardian. Exactly. Alas, you can't just say I'm going to the moon. It's just grandiose. I see why none of the moneyed nobles have approached you. That is so, but come on. Aren't we the heroes who saved London? They could be a tad more generous. Heroes in a time of crisis. This is peacetime, and that's how it goes. Trust me, I have experience with this. I suppose you do. Maybe some other way of making money. We could get rid of St. G's antiques. The Count would surely get rid of you, and it would be a touch more grim than kicking you out of his house. I can picture it all too clearly. But this is no laughing matter. When we had financial issues before, all of us racked our brains coming up with money-making schemes, but the amount of money we needed for this is on another level entirely. As we pondered the matter together, the answer to our prayers arrived in the form of a voice approaching from outside. Excusez-moi, I called out, but nobody answered. I'm afraid I had to let myself in. I'm assuming it's Lupin. I'm just making the assumption. Oh no, it's Saint Germain! Damn it! Okay. Excusez-moi, I called out, but nobody answered. I'm afraid I had to let myself in. I was wondering if it was going to be Saint Germain because we were just talking about selling his antiques, but then when he said excusez-moi, I was like, it's probably Lupin because he's the one that usually throws. I know that Saint Germain is French and he was in France, but Lupin's the one that throws it around a little bit more frequently. But I should have known it was Saint Germain just because we were just talking about him. And we haven't seen him in a while. He showed up in Victor's Path, but he didn't show up Actually, he didn't show up at all in Van Helsing's Path, did he? Maybe in the beginning quickly. No, I mean, Oh, well, he wrote us a letter, but that's it. I must say, it does feel odd to do such a thing at one's former residence. Another member of Lupin's gang stepped into the drawing room wearing a familiar, benign smile. It was the original master of the house, Count Saint Germain. Ah, Saint Germain, welcome home. Saint G! Oh, have you been well? It's been a while, Count. Indeed, I've just arrived. I see Van Helsing are visiting as well. What exquisite timing. Saint Germain had departed for France following the Nautilus affair. He came back across the channel last month and has remained in London since. After resettling in the city, he's been by to visit on a few occasions. Why doesn't he just stay with you? I don't know. He's like, I'm going to stay in the city. Why don't you just stay here? Have you not seen how... I don't want to impose. Really? We have 5,000 fucking rooms. There are 2 of us living in this mansion. Saint Germain, fucking, you could live here and we would never even goddamn know. I'm pretty sure Deli and Van Helsing live here and we just don't know about it. Saint Germain, you finished your business in France, right? Why not come back to live at the mansion? The offer is tempting, but I am a perceptive man, and I suspect I would only be a bother to you newlyweds. We, aren't actually married yet? Ho, not married yet, eh? Meaning this might be your only chance to reconsider. Hey, stop trying to preempt our future, mister. Van Helsing's like, seriously, you should reconsider. Things haven't changed. Saint Germain gave a slight nod, seeming to find the boisterous atmosphere nostalgic. But in all seriousness, I have concluded my dealings in France, but a few loose ends remain. I should be able to return permanently just yet. Loose ends? Don't let it concern you. It's barely a matter worth speaking of. Van Helsing is like, I don't trust you. Van Helsing seems to have more to say, but Saint Germain's impenetrable smile quiets him. The Count then turns to Impey. He is like, I know what's going on in France, and then suddenly, Count, are you getting stabby with it? Yes, although, remember, it's funny. He's been in London recently because he had something to do with the crashing of the cathedral. I told you in the very beginning, in the last part, I was like, Saint Germain's getting stabby with it. Ooh! Him or Guinevere, but I have no doubt he was involved somehow. I do like that his coat is like just half a coat. It's half a coat if you think about it. It's literally, how does that work? What is with the game and the one arms? Van Helsing's the only one. Okay, no, well, okay. Saint Germain and Impey can't figure out how to put their shirts on. Like, Impey's like half an arm out of his jumpsuit. But the Count's literally got half a jacket and it ties around, and then, but the collar, how does the collar work in the, because that's the color of his vest going around. And then his jacket has a hat. How does this work? I'm confused. I want to see it from the back. I want to be like, how the fuck is your jacket working? Like does it like go straight down the back? Does it like angle like the front does? So it, like makes like a it's confusing, man. I'm just really confused with how the hell this jacket fucking works. Anyway. More importantly, Impey, the matter you inquired about, I've been asking amongst members of society. Oh, I knew you'd come through, Saint G. We were just talking about it. It would be a colossal investment, so I'm afraid it wasn't a very easy sell, but I believe I finally piqued the interest of a patron who finds the idea of going to the moon fascinating. What? Real talk? Impey, this is wonderful. The last thing I expected was good news to arrive just as we were fretting. I'm so happy for Impey, I can't help but take his hand in mine. But Saint Germain cautions us. However, not to rain on the parade, but I don't think you should be too excited just yet. There are conditions for the investment. The patron has certain requests. Meaning no investment unless we can meet them, I take it? Just so. I believe it would be in your best interest to speak in person. Leave this to me. It's happening. I will go anywhere. First, a word of warning. This person can be difficult. You must not offend in any way. Got it. Big surprise, but proper etiquette is one of my specialties. It is the gloriousest... The gloriousest... That's not a word. Gloriousest. The gloriousest privilege to meet your honorship. I am Impey, genius stud muffin engineer. Yeah, that's offensive right there. He's so worked up, yet I feel so worried. Why would that be? Spacey, you have to be the closer on this. Keep a tight hold on his leash. I know. I'll do my best. Impey always seems to pull magic out of a bottle, from a bottle when it really matters, so things will probably work out. I hope. If we're ever to achieve our dream, we can't let anything stop us here. I ball my hands into fists, having found new determination. Is it the Queen? Higher than the greatest airship flies, past the skies to the space that lies beyond, and on to the pale shining moon. I still can't believe a member of the aristocracy has any interest in our dream. I'm half hopeful and half anxious. I know Impey feels the same, but I never could have imagined the place we would be ushered to meet this mysterious noble. I knew it was going to be the queen. Huh? Huh? Yay! I was right! We were going to introduce a new character. Come on. How lovely to see you again, young lady. And you, Impey Barbicane. Oh no, I can't do her voice all the time. Whoa, verily, it is the gloriousest privilege to meet your... You mean... What? Saint GG, your patron is the queen? Indeed, as you can see. What do you think? Personally, I can't imagine a better patron. What do we think? Even for Saint Germain, this was incredible. His smile has true mirth in it, and I realize he probably left the queen's name out on purpose. Alexandrina Victoria, Queen of the United Kingdom. She smiles benevolently. Lionheart, Captain of the Imperial Guardsmen, is by her side as always. Captain of the Guard, the chief of the guard that protects important figures such as the Queen and the royal family. At present, Rampart Lionheart, or I know it's Leonhart, but whatever. Lionheart. We call him that because that's what we've been calling him since the very beginning. Whatever. Just like Impey is Impey, but we call him Impey because that's what we call him because we didn't know how to pronounce his name in the very beginning and whatever. Among the Queen's most trusted men, holds this position. Yeah, she's secretly in love with him. They're so doing it on the side. I want that side. I want that side thing. I need that side story. I need that side story in a game where we just go someplace and we see them and we're like, oh, I knew it. I knew they were in love. Anyway. Oh, please, don't be so tense. I'm fairly sure I don't bite. Indeed, it is as Her Majesty says. You may be at ease. Yeah, because you're so at ease. Got like a fucking giant pole up his butthole. He's like, I am very relaxed right now. Yeah, you seem it. Okay. You are both of meritorious service. I don't. Is that okay? Meritorious. I get the root word merit, but like meritorious. Is that really a thing? I don't. Wow. The $32. They went from like $12 words to $14. Now they're at like $62 words up in here. Like, you were both of meritorious service during the Nautilus affair. The crown would never treat you with disdain. What if Lupin were here? He would be arrested with extreme prejudice. But he was as much meritorious. But he was of as much meritorious service. That is neither here nor there. I still have trouble trying to figure out where Lionheart's priorities lie. His voice is loud as ever. There's that. So then, Count Saint Germain has informed me of the particulars. It seems you seek to go to the moon, and you require financial aid. Victoria scrutinizes us both, her look probing. At last, Impey comes to terms with the reality of the situation. He launches into a layman's explanation, his face serious. If Saint G has already filled you in, that saves me the trouble. As he says, we're preparing for a trip to the moon. But we're facing a mountain of issues, drawing up the plans for our ship, building a full-scale launch platform. We have to consider what will happen when we exit the ship and repair the gravity alleviator recovered from the Nautilus. Gravity alleviator, a special device that reduces the weight of an object by creating a repulsion field. It requires a tremendous amount of energy to use. I'm confident about the launch itself, but there are countless other things that need attention. I see. And that is why you require additional research funding. I nod slowly and deliberately. Firing off capsules is only the first step. The dream won't be realized until we're able to launch a ship that takes us beyond the skies, and set foot on the moon itself. You don't even know if that's physically possible. We beseech you, my queen, please consider our proposal. I humbly ask your favor as well, though it may have the air of fantasy. I vouch for the plan's feasibility. It's not being undertaken recklessly. The three of us lower our heads in respect of Victoria's station. She squints at us. You did bring down the Nautilus, and for that the nation owes you an extraordinary debt. I'm not unwilling to make my personal assets available to you. Really? I knew it, Vicky Q. You so get it. Vicky Q? Lionheart, you're being a nuisance. Quiet down. But my queen, this man has only been known to address you in the most unseemly... Did I not say I found it entertaining? You may address me the same if you like. I shudder to think of it. My queen is my queen. Queen of England sighs. Her most loyal knight bows with all the formality he can muster. She's like, this is why we're never going to have sex, because you won't take off your clothes in front of me. I look at them as... I look at them askance, but feel like a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. Nothing could be more reassuring than the kingdom itself backing us. Nothing could be more reassuring than their relationship. Oh, God. If he was any different, like, isn't this wonderful, Impey? I think this might be the end of our money troubles. Yeah, non-stop ultra thanks to Saint G. No time to waste. Let's tally up expenditures and... Slow down there, young man. Let's not rush to conclusions. I've already made this plain. I can offer you funding, but it is of the personal variety. What do you mean? Her tone is pretentious, and just like that, I feel brought down to earth. It is not the Queen who answers our many unspoken questions, but Saint Germain. Though you rule an empire, funds are available for personal matters are limited, I take it. Just so, I have the personal power to move a certain amount of money, but anything beyond that demands even a queen to seek approval through official channels. In other words, support from the nation itself would require that you convince Parliament your engineering is sound. Our engineering? How would we... If you need me to demonstrate inventions, I have no shortage of those. Now you're speaking my language. Victoria gives a regal nod and gets to the heart of the matter. A few years ago, London hosted a universal exposition. Perhaps you remember it. World's Fair, a nationwide event in which a given country exhibits their technological development. It was held in London, England in 1851, and isn't that why the Eiffel Tower was built, for a World's Fair? Or something. Or am I just remembering that from like false history from like a movie or something? Or a game? I don't know, I just remember that from something. I'm like, I don't know if that's true, or if that was something from a game, or a movie, or a book, or something, and I remember it, and it just occurs to me, and I'm like, I don't know if that's true, or if I read it in one of these, and it's an alternate history, but I remember that being a plot point somewhere. Or just like a side thing. And that's where those alien spaceships came from in Men in Black. It was a World's Fair, and then the alien space, and they were like, look, ah! And there were spaceships. And we didn't know it, because the Men in Black come in, boop, 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 your brain, You know. Just saying. So everything that's erected for a World's Fair is probably an alien spaceship, and we're all fucked come, when the aliens come. It's just all their technologies on our planet. Probably why we have the internet. But you know what? It's shitty alien technology, and we should probably get some more aliens because my internet kind of sucks dick. So if we could, fix that, that'd be great. Anyway. Universal Exposition, also known as a World's Fair, essentially an international exposition with participants from all across the globe. Newly developed machines and products of industry, art exhibitions. Each participating country displays the finest they have to offer, divided into several categories. Truly a massive event. It was known as the Great Exhibition. Some 6 million people attended, and the whole of London was caught up in its festive atmosphere. Of special note was the venue, a grand glass structure called the Crystal Palace. Oh hey, that was in Black Butler. That's where they held the curry fair, like the curry thing. Competition, the curry competition, that's the word I'm looking for. Oh my god. I've obviously watched the anime a couple of times and then reading the manga, and that's just the part I'm on. So that's why I remember it. I'm like in the middle of that. I'm in the middle of the curry competition one. I've only just started reading the manga recently. And I try to read like a chapter every few days, but like, I don't like whip through it, because they're short, and like they still cost like $7 a piece. So it's like I can't like read through them too fast, because I don't want to be like flat broke, so I only allow myself to buy a couple every month, so it's gonna take me a long time to get through them. Anyway, because there's like 800 of them, and I'm only on like I think I just started number 6. Maybe I just started number 5. I think I just started number 5. Anyway. The old and the new. Occidental? What's Occidental? Occidental and Oriental, all in one glamorous place. I found it to be quite remarkable. It does sound tailor-made for your interests, Saint Germain. Wait, that was like 400 years ago. And he's like, what? I can just imagine him being left to his own devices at such an event, and coming home with the king's ransom of antiques. I went to see it too. The mechanics on display were beyond belief. Automobiles and astronomical telescopes, not to mention the latest steam locomotives. Steam locomotive refers to a large metal train that moves by means of a steam engine. Historically, it works by continuously burning coal to generate steam, but in this game, the Neo Steam engine takes over the task. I'm surprised he's so obsessed with trains that he wants to be like, but I want to make a thing and go to the moon. Okay. It was a stunning technology on parade. I went almost every day. It sounds so enchanting. I wish I'd been able to go. I would have loved to walk around with you, Impei, seeing all those sights. They speak of it with such infectious fondness, I can only imagine what it must have been like. Strolling around the Crystal Palace, eyes wide with wonder, learning new technology from all over the world. Impei would be so excited, explaining how each new piece of equipment that caught his eye worked. We would have had so much fun together. Impei smiles at me broadly. It must have been obvious what I was thinking. Righty then, Spacey. Shall we go on a World's Fair date? Huh? But this was years ago. Isn't it already over? In London, sure. But I've heard there's going to be another one soon. Correct. The next exposition is to be hosted by France in Paris. Paris, the capital of France, an artistic city that is also known as the City of Flowers due to its many different blossoming cultures and art. As you can imagine, we'll be carefully selecting exhibits representative of the British Empire. It pains me to say the construction of what was to be our primary attraction is proving extremely difficult. So to the crux! This is where you come in, Impei Barbicane! You're saying you want me to help finish this primary attraction? Yes, as you know, Isaac's genius was to thank for our scientific advancements. We surpass all other nations in this area. However, the sad truth is that many countries view Britain as resting on Isaac's laurels. I should like to use this opportunity to prove the United Kingdom boasts superb engineers other than he. Now I see. I'm finally beginning to understand. Impei can tell where this is going too. He turns to the Queen, scratching his head. I should say this up front. If it's nasty stuff you're after, weaponry and armaments, I decline. Worry not. Having become familiar with your ideals, I'm not so foolish as to ask that you build weapons. Then what does she want from us? Or from him? So, is it an airship, or... That was the plan at one point, but times are changing. No matter how advanced the airship, it would hardly suffice. Can you imagine anything eclipsing the impact that Infernal Nautilus had? That's a good point. The incident caused quite the stir, not only in France, but across the continent. Secretly developed by the British Crown with the intention of invading other countries. Or so scurrilous rumor has it. Such a vexing babble it is. So what then? I still have no idea why you need my help. Oddly, Lionheart grins at the question. And making quite a show of it, points downwards. Isn't it obvious? If not the sky, then the sea. Of course. I get it. Leon, old pal, say no more. Her Majesty is a better judge of men than I. You were rather quick to... 'Tis a man's dream. You want me to engineer pretty sexy transparent swimwear for the ladies, am I right? Oh my god, Impei. Oh my god, I did not see this coming, and I should have fucking expected Impei. Pretty sexy transparent swimwear for the ladies, am I right? Oh my god, they want you to fucking build a goddamn submarine, Impei. Like, I just imagine Spacey being like, they want you to engineer a fucking submarine, Jesus! Bird, I'm sorry, but... That's where your mind goes! Look at Saint Germain's face! He's like, oh, fuck my life. He's like, I wish I had not done this. Saint Germain is like regretting all of his life decisions in that face right now. Wagering British prestige on swimwear, it would cause a stir, but perhaps the unwelcome sort. Impey looks excitedly at the prospect, disturbingly so. Raising a palm to her face, Victoria grits her teeth and ignores this. Turning to me, she continues, England is a maritime nation. Our borders face the sea. It is speculated that untold natural resources lay beneath the seabed. I wish to explore the depths with a submersible. Submersible, a ship with the ability to submerge to the ocean's depths. It is used to explore the ocean and the seabed. Oh! Everybody knows that Father's Neosteam engine revolutionized the construction of airships and sea vessels. Neosteam engine, one of Isaac's greatest inventions. With the creation of this device that can store steam energy, it is said that humanity as a whole has made a tremendous leap in technological advancement. But I can't think of any country that has yet begun to explore what may lie in the deep ocean. That would certainly explain why the project is facing difficulty. So that's what this was all about. What do you think, Impey? And I think if you create a vessel that can go into the deep sea, that will help you in the vessel that's going to go into the outer space. After taking a moment for the hubbub in the audience chambers to subside, I ask him. Impey considers and at length opens his mouth to speak. I think we should go with the naked swimwear. I mean, that I think would just be so much better. We're going to France after all, and I feel like they're open to that shit. No, just kidding. I mean, that's what he's thinking in his head. You know, he's like, oh, man. Really wanted to see Spacey in transparent swimwear. He imagines it. You know, he's got doodles somewhere in a notebook. Locked in a drawer. What's in this? Nothing! Why is it sticky? Don't touch it! You're helping us out, so I'm not in a position to object. Anyway, it sounds fun. Submersible, eh? Count me in. But just one thing. Hear me out on this. Do go on. What made you decide to throw in your lot with our project? Did I not just tell you? In exchange for engineering a so-called submersible... I heard that. Just doesn't seem like you. Goes without saying, we're dead serious about traveling to the moon, but to the public it'll seem like sheer absurdity. You could pour millions of pounds into this with no guarantee of results. It's a gamble. Your top priority is is national interest. Funneling money into something we can't even budget seems strange to me. She's like, are you downplaying? No, I mean... He's absolutely right. This is not how you sell yourself in. But this is why I don't go do good at like interviews and like tests and shit. Because this is me. Like, I mean, why are you taking her? I mean, like, I'm pretty fucking awesome and shit. But I mean, like, I could fail just like anybody else. And they're like, and you know, we're gonna go with that person who's over cocky and thinks that they never do anything wrong, even though they fuck up all the time. You better be like, yeah, we're totally. I mean, everything I do is perfect. We're really great at budgeting. Yeah, no. Victoria's stoic and cool. Even if she feels that she owes us a debt, she would never dream of wasting money on a project with no benefit to her subjects. Victoria closes her eyes. Had Impey's words affected her that deeply? Speaking frankly, when I saw the Nautilus, I felt cut down to the quick. I saw how monstrous technology can be. The more science advances, the more difficult it will become to manage, and one day we may lose control of it entirely. A perfectly natural concern. There are indeed forces in this world beyond human control. He's one of them. Look at that shady face. Saint Germain nods at this, almost wistfully. A deep silence falls. I surprise myself by being the first to speak. Maybe, but the man who put an end to Nemo's rampage loved science more deeply than anyone else. Science may have run amok that day, but it was also science that ended the madness. That can't be denied. Spacey. Yes, you're completely right. I wanted to say the same. I've seen the worst of science with my own eyes, and now I want you to show me its best. That's how I came to my decision. I may be a hard-headed queen prioritizing national interest, but surely even I am allowed to dream. Plus, if no one dreamt of going to the moon, we never would have gone to the moon. I'm sorry. We didn't go to the moon because that was all fake, right? And the Earth is flat, and... I'm sorry, that's just fucking hilarious. Victoria is the type who doesn't forget attack. I giggle at her teasing rejoinder and answer for Impey. Of course you are, and we'll make that dream come true. Won't we, Impey? Yeah, you better believe it. Our goal is to show the people of this world just how amazing science is. Queen or peasant, it's all the same to me. To dream a dream, to look up at the moon, social standing has nothing to do with it. How dare you mention Her Majesty and peasants in the same breath! I was preparing for a Lionheart to roar something along those lines, but he remained silent. In fact, his expression is kindly. In the face of science, even a queen is but a single human being. Altogether impertinent. So it would seem. An agreement has been reached? So it would seem an agreement has been reached. Yep. Well then, Your Majesty, we accept your conditions for funding. I'll lend a hand with development on the submersible for the World's Fair and prove my engineering skills. Do we have a deal? We do. You have my word as Queen of the United Kingdom. Radio, a deal it is. Submersible or transparent swimsuit. Genius engineer Impey Barbicane is capable of anything. I mean, I don't think it'd be really hard to make a transparent swimsuit. You just find some kind of transparent fabric and stitch it together. Didn't say it had to be comfortable or like waterproof or something. It's just something to swim in that's see-through. Hell, you could be like, look, it's a transparent swimsuit, and I just run out naked. Woo! Like the Emperor's New Clothing. Oh my god, this looks great on you. Only peasants can't see this shit. Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. I had read about this in a book. The River Thames, running straight through central London, has long been known for its many shipyards. The submersible under construction is to be Britain's centerpiece at the World's Fair and is being kept from the public eye. Apparently, the government acquired a small shipyard to maintain secrecy, using it as a dry dock for the construction. And so, after parting with Saint Germain, we made our way to the Thames, passing through imposing, heavily guarded security. Oh, neat! New background. Oh my, it's gigantic! We're led into a vast building. Originally intended for the construction of large ships, it's now being used as an out-of-the-way place to build the submersible. The clang of metal echoes throughout, and I hear the hiss of steam here and there. Whoa, look at him go, go, go! Impey's eyes are agleam. He reminds me of a boy in a sweets shop. It's amazing! That's the submersible? It looks really small. A giant sphere hangs from cranes overhead like an impossibly large eyeball staring down at us. The massive machine was under construction. Its internals exposed, it had a bizarre misshapen appearance. Doesn't have screws, which means it isn't self-sustaining. Are they using the suspension method? Impey carefully surveys the whole structure, taking note of all the mechanisms. Say, Impey, can this thing really dive into the deep ocean? The way it was explained to me, I imagined something that looked like a ship. Ah, well, you see, regular ships are built to float, to be as unsinkable as possible. But this is the exact opposite. It has to be able to dive as deep as it can. Taking water pressure and all sorts of other factors into account, the shape just works better. All curiosity, Impey says this without taking his eyes off the craft. He moves closer, examining everything. It was then an unexpected but familiar voice called out to us from behind the huge submersible. It would have to be Victor. He's like the only person that we would know here, right? Or Nemo. But I doubt they would hire Nemo. But anyway, anyone not otherwise occupied, gather round. We're measuring the strength of the glass next. Whoa, that voice. Victor? Yeah, I was gonna say, it can't be fucking... It wouldn't be Lupin, like... Well, I'm doing science things. How the hell did you manage this? I don't know. We exchange glances, then walk over to where the voice was coming from. There stood none other than... Huh? Why are you two here? That's what I was about to ask. We're here at Victoria's request to help with the submersible, but... Victor faints. Victor drops to his knees in the middle of my sentence, then looks up to the heavens. He has the manner of... How should I put it? A man in the cloth prostrating himself before a descending angel? But really? This isn't a joke, right? You're not going to promise to help me and then turn around and say, make do with the crew you have or anything, right? That was awfully specific. And did the workers surrounding him just start whooping and hollering, clapping each other on the back? Personnel! It's more personnel! I can finally go home, sleep in a warm bed. What to say? What a workplace you have here. Suddenly I have misgivings about the future. You don't say. I was just thinking the same thing. Anyway, if you two are here to help, I'm saved. Really saved. You see, I haven't slept for 3 days. You haven't... You have had it rough here. Poor Victor. It's as though a dank, dismal black cloud hangs over him. And so our first day begins. We wouldn't begin hands-on work until tomorrow. Or so we were told, being given a tour of the dry dock. We do happen to pass by a worker moaning on the floor, but Victor assured us the team was in tip-top shape. Do your best, Impei.
What now? Don't you mean let's do our best? Wait, what now?
The next day, we return to the dry dock. Victor greets us on our way in, and we sit down to discuss the submersible design. Ah! I know it's Impei's route, but look at her cute little Victor! If Victoria brought you here, you've probably heard most of this already, but we're using this dry dock to develop a manned submersible for deep-sea exploration. Submersible. Hearing the word, I glance over at the massive iron sphere hanging from cranes. And that's what's hanging there. I mentioned this to Impei yesterday, but it doesn't look anything like a ship. It certainly doesn't. In fact, it might be more accurate to call this a bathysphere rather than a submersible. A bathysphere? Assuming. Bathysphere. A submarine that is particularly spherical. It is constructed of thick armor that can withstand the extreme pressure of the ocean depths.
Hey, these plans here. Are you attaching some sort of external device, or... At first glance, I'm seeing functionality we don't need if this thing is only going to be diving.
Impei indicates a spot on the chalkboard. I look at what he's pointing to, but it's Greek to me. I can only tilt my head, not quite understanding. Future plans call for investigating deep-sea life forms and the collection of minerals, you see?
Huh, gotcha. Pretty bold. You've eliminated everything unnecessary then. What about surfacing? To use a winch?
Exactly. Well, it might be more accurate to say there is no other way.
I see, right. So how much power does the winch output? And how strong is the connecting cable?
Considering the craft's weight and its buoyancy, I anticipate 1 inch wide. It's still provisional, but we've done tests.
Looks like you've got it all covered. So how dense are the materials you used?
I have my research notes here. What should I do? When the discussion gets this specialized, there's no way I can keep up. Right. I must do my best to learn so I can be of use to them. Listening to their impassioned conversation, I begin taking notes. My pen flies across the page. Look how fucking cute we are. Like, I'm gonna write this down. And they're like being all fucking adorable and sciencey and nerds. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I love fucking Victor, and I know Impei's my least favorite out of all. It's not that. It's just he comes across really pervy and everything. But like, when they do things like this, and he's like, look at it. His face is so innocent. When he's not being pervy, he has a very innocent, sweet face. Like, oh, I'm so excited about engineering and shit. And look, oh my god, I know this, and like talking about this, and words and science and things. And you're like, oh, he's adorable. And then he's got to go talking about invisible see-through swimwear. We really need to get the poison rid of us so he can just get laid and stop being a fucking perv is all I'm saying. He just really needs to get some because he's just incorrigible. It's bad.
In which case, our next concern would be, at what speed will the craft sink?
Let's see. If the bathysphere is manned, we need to account for the weight of oxygen tanks. Account for the weight of oxygen tanks. Let me recalculate the speed. Rethinking the design will mean a change in volume. That's going to alter gravitational pull. Rethinking the design?
Leave the recalculations to yours truly. I've been doing this forever for cannon launches.
Leave recalculations to yours truly. I'm literally writing down everything they say.
Huh, have you been writing all of this down? Look how he looks at us like, but look at the look on his face. Like, Victor's a little shocked and he's looking at us like, you might be a little stupid. Like,
look at his face is concerned. Like, I am concerned for your intelligence right now. Like, writing all of this down.
Impei, I love you.
I thought she was going to be like, no. She's like, Impei, love you.
In sickness and in health, I will love Impei till death do us part.
Look at Victor's face. Impei's got this little like, and Victor's like, oh dear God. In sickness and in health, I will love Impei till death do us part. You two do get along well.
I know, we're lovey-dovey maximum.
Lovey-dovey what? I break out of my note-taking trance and rush to look over what I'd written. And the entirety of the last page is full of silly love babble to Impei. After that little episode, and once the basic explanations are finished, Impei walks off to introduce himself to his soon-to-be coworkers, and I take the opportunity to speak with Victor. Phew! Impei is so reliable. I was at my wit's end working alone. Victor laughs sheepishly, and I suddenly think of something I have to ask him. Then again, the question may very well hurt his feelings, or dampen the mood. Are you all right with this whole thing, Victor? I make up my mind and ask the question. Victoria's behind this project, isn't she? I suppose I'm surprised to see you here. I would have guessed you wouldn't want any part of it. It would be hard to call Victor and the Queen's relationship anything but chilly. She once had a warrant out for his arrest. Perhaps my tone was too concerned. Victor scratches his head, his laugh sounding forced. Well, yes, I do have mixed feelings. But in exchange for my services, Victoria granted a few requests I had. Requests? Right, it was something I had been trying to find for a very long time, and she supplied the information. It wasn't an entirely personal request either. It's also for the people most important to me. People important to you? Yes, you already know, right? I'm talking about the medicine Impei and I are... Oh! This was still supposed to be a secret! Are you talking about the project you're working on together? Impei hasn't told me anything specific. Only that whatever it is you're working on is important for reaching the moon. Usually Impei tells me everything, but he won't say a single word about your research. Just being reminded of it causes an unexpected wave of sadness to wash over me. I know Impei must have his reasons, but I feel left out somehow, and it's a very rare lonely feeling. I knew when he was working with Victor, it's the cure for the poison, and he doesn't want to tell her because he wants to surprise her with it, which is fucking adorable, but... Oh, please don't look so sad. Everything's fine. When the time comes, I'm sure Impei will tell you himself. I wonder. He will. This is Impei we're talking about. He loves you so, so much. So much that he doesn't know what to do with himself. He'll tell you soon enough, I promise. The research we're doing is going to be wonderful for you both. Victor's eyes are full of profound kindness. God, I love him so much. I love Van Helsing, but Victor is just the biggest. So I just want to squeeze him. You're just like, I just want to squeeze you till you pop. You're so fucking adorable. You're so sweet and genuine and So I am fine with it. I made my promise to Victoria, and I'll see the job through. I nod knowing Victor is telling me the truth. Right then, when Impei gets back, let's start work in earnest, shall we? I'm expecting your best. Go right ahead. Impei and I are good for it. Later on that day, I don't want to do this anymore. You've been here 5 minutes. I know, but it's so hard. Time flies by once we settle into our jobs re-engineering the submersible. Impei and Victor are new to the field, so it won't get finished in a day. Not with the constant stream of problems, anyway. Experiments continue at the dry dock day after day, always 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Hey, that's not bad, though. It's especially tough on Impei, who was tasked with redesigning the hull. He bears more responsibility than anyone else. He's been keeping eccentric hours the past few weeks, splitting his time between the mansion and the dry dock. This week has been worse than usual. Other than a few catnaps here and there, he isn't getting any sleep at all. It's an unremarkable night, like any other since our work began. Contrary to the relative warmth of the day, nights have been getting colder lately. It's now past midnight. Absolutely frigid. I walk down the hallway carrying a tray atop which is balanced a late night snack I made for Impei. Compared to what Impei can cook, it's barely even worthy of being called a snack. But I hope he likes it. Top of the tray is a plate of bacon, nicely browned toast, and fresh brewed coffee. Hello, bacon and toast. I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with that. He's like, it's bacon. You're bringing a man bacon. I'm involved in development now, but I mostly oversee experiments and manage data. Impei works 10 times as hard as I do. Hey, somebody's got to manage data, bitch. I'm going to tell you something. I manage data at work. I'm good at it. I'm the spreadsheet queen. God. Some days you want to be like, I hate my life, but I'm really good at spreadsheets and managing data. God, I'm so good at it. Like a fucking ninja. I'm a data ninja, motherfuckers. So you know what? Some people can't manage data, okay? They can't fucking figure shit out. So just be happy. You may think it's not hard work, but it takes a lot of brain power. He hasn't even taken a single break. This is the very least I can do for him. Here we are. I stopped just outside Saint Germain's bedchamber and knock lightly. Why is Impey sleeping in Saint Germain's bedchamber? Curious. I would think, doesn't he have his own room? I mean, I know he had a space outside, but that wasn't where he slept. So he's got to have a bedroom, and why would he be sleeping in Saint Germain's bedroom? That's weird. I'm sorry to bother you while you're hard at work. May I come in, Impey? He should be holed up in Saint Germain's room right about now, scrutinizing the new submersible design. Well, I mean, Saint Germain's room was really more of a fucking library. So, Victor recently told me they were about to reach the moment of truth, so... Impey? No answer. Is he not in the room? Yeah, see, Saint Germain's bedchamber is not really a bedchamber. It's a motherfucking library office. Like, does he have a separate, like, room that he goes into? Or does he sleep on that fucking couch? Like, this is like, oh, Saint Germain's bedroom. It's like an office. But Saint Germain might not need to sleep. Does he need to sleep? I don't know. My goodness. So many books. Oh, hold on. I clicked the button by accident. I was like holding it in my hand. My hand hit the button. I slowly let myself in, assuming he must have stepped out for a moment. My goodness, so many books. And they're all taken off the shelves. Piles of books have been taken down from their shelves, laying in heaps and stacks on the desks and floors. Countless scraps of papers are strewn around the main desk, covered with illegible scribbling. His notes, I suppose. It's almost impossible to walk without stepping on something. And as for Impey, oh god. I've seen this CG. He's passed out. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. I find him sandwiched between two towering stacks of books. He's sleeping soundly, all of his upper body laying flat against the desk. Oh, that's adorable. Impey, did you fall asleep? Approximate 1 meter square. Water pressure. Perpendicular to... gotta reduce. Surface area. He's mumbling in his sleep about calculating water pressure and the design of the hull. Victor adjusts the medicinal compounds. Now he's probably dreaming about the mystery project I'm not privy to. In fact, he's using Victor's name suggests as much. I can't help but half smile, half grimace. Poor Impey, you don't even have time to dream. Still working in your sleep. Now that I think about it, this is totally in keeping with his personality. When he really sets his mind on something, he barrels towards it single-mindedly. Even when Lupin and the others were living here in the mansion, he'd forget to eat or sleep when a good idea struck. That immense capacity for concentration is probably one of Impey's greatest strengths as an engineer. But still... Hey, Impey? I look down at Impey's gentle, sleeping face. He almost looks like a little boy, exhausted after playing. It's kind of what he is, though, if you think about it. The thought makes me grin as I set his tray off to the side. Hands free, I lean in closer to his face. I've seen this. With her staring at him like that. I've seen this part of the CG, and it's like, oh, so cute. It's a little creepy because she's like, let me stare at you with her giant fucking saucer eyes. But it's cute. I've lowered myself to be level with the side of his face. I'm so close I can make out each individual eyelash. Sometimes I worry. Once you make up your mind to focus on something, you become blind to everything else. And you're so sunk with work that you even forget to rest. I wonder if it's my job as your significant other to explain flat out that this just isn't good for you. What do you think, Impey? Not that I could stop you anyway. No matter how exhausted you are, you enjoy that work so much. I don't think I could ever take that away from you. Because, well, part of what makes you the most wonderful man in the world is your unshakable faith in your dreams. I've read that people in love either don't notice or willfully ignore their partner's shortcomings. I'm beginning to understand. I can't get over how childlike he seems in slumber, but I continue talking quietly and evenly. I suppose I really do love seeing you work towards realizing our dream more than anything else. Wait, no. What am I saying? I do love that, but then again, I love everything about you. Is he smirking? He's smiling. He's like He's like,
I'm awake now. He's awake. He's so fucking awake.
You showed me affection. Me, a poisonous monster. I had no idea why I was born, yet you called me a breathtakingly beautiful embodiment of dreams. I don't think you fully understand how much that meant to me. My words of gratitude are hardly enough. Even if I devote my entire existence to you, there's some debts I'll never be able to repay. Impey, you're the most important person to me in the entire world. When the day finally comes that I'm free of poison, I want to feel your lips against mine like I did before. I want to be able to kiss you over and over again. Things I can never say to Impey if he were awake come pouring out of my mouth in a rush. He's so awake, though. Just listen to how embarrassed and nervous I am. I can never say this to his face. His face. Impey? Are you awake? Snore. Snore. You are awake. I'm asleep. Super ultra asleep. Look at her face. She was smiling at him and now she's like, I will fucking end you. I'm sorry. That's the I'll kill you. All of a sudden, Lupin's voice comes out of her. I'll kill you. Go on, go on. I'm fast asleep, so you don't have to be self-conscious. Your honest, pure love. I want you to talk about it to your heart's content. Please. I knew all of a sudden at one point, like, he had a grin on his face. I'm like, he's so awake right now. All of a sudden, he was like, he woke up as she was talking. I knew it. Ouch! I can hardly be faulted for picking up the nearest dictionary and rapping him over the head with it. I wish you just beats him. Oh, Impey, you're so great and wonderful. I am happy that you said that. How dare you! I just like that she hit him with a book, though. Oh, it's adorable. Several more days pass. Overall, plans for the submersible, or bathysphere, are nearly complete. Oh dear God, we're way over time. Oh my God, guys. I was just so wrapped up in this. So we'll come back. Hold on. We're gonna rewind back to here, and we'll start here in the next part. Because that was a good ending point. We couldn't have ended in the middle of that anyway, but we probably could have ended before that. But anyway, I'm sorry. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.